Where's the black cat when you need it? Hello and welcome to Geico Sports Night alongside Chris Williamson. I'm Eamon McInerney. Ahead on the show, both the Jets and Giants wrapping up their preseason schedules on Thursday. We'll have highlights of both with Daniel Jones getting the start for Big Blue.
And with the Mets season possibly hanging in the balance after losing 5 in a row, New York turned to their ace, Jacob deGrom, to rescue the team. Dude's been a machine on his own since May 22nd, posting an MLB best 1.88 ERA. Mets looking to make something of their series with the Cubbies, looking to jump on them early. Bottom one, J.D. Davis absolutely clobbers a John Lester cutter to center field. 432 feet and over the home run apple, 18th of the year for Davis. Mets up 1-0. So the Masons want to get back on track. Who better on the bump than deGrom? Top two, deGrom facing Victor Caratini. He turns on one deep to right. Michael Conforto jumps, but it's actually in the second deck. Cubs level it at 1. Now, deGrom would settle in and go to work, however, retires the next 15 Cubs he faces, striking out 7 along the way. Then, after the dominant performance right there, top 7, game still not at a 1. Chris Bryant grounds one to Ahmed Rosario, but it goes off his glove, and the Cubs finally get a man on. Next batter is Javi Baez. He smacks a base hit up the middle, and all of a sudden, there are 2 on. Trouble. And then Caratini. He turns on deGrom again. Blasts another shot into the second deck in right field. deGrom allows 4 runs for the first time in 17 starts. Cubs up 4-1. Bottom 9, Craig Kimbrell on for the save. Gets Luis Guillorme to ground out to Addison Russell at second base, and the Cubs complete their sweep of the Mets 4-1. Here's Mickey Callaway after the game.
It's tough, you know. I think the last 6 games, that's tough to swallow. But you have to move on. I know we say this every time we lose. You do. You really do. You have to move on, regroup. We got to go into Philly and take care of business. Like I've said all along, we got to continue to grind it out. These guys can do something special. I know they believe that. They show it every day. Even when we lose, they don't give up. I definitely believe it. I know our front office believes it. And that 40,000 fans out there, I think they believe it too. So we're going to continue to push and push and push until the end and see where we come out.
Time now for Baseball Night in New York as we welcome in Anthony McCarron, Sal Licata, and Mark Malusis. It wasn't Bryant or Rizzo or Baez, but Victor bleeping Caratini doing it. Jacob deGrom and the Mets. Anthony, just how big a blow was this loss and how it happened?
It's huge to me, Eamon, because this is the guy who was supposed to stop all of the nonsense that had been going on for the past 5 games. deGrom is your ace, your Cy Young candidate, and he's supposed to shut this stuff down and at least get something out of the end of this homestand, which started out so wonderfully and has cratered since then, obviously, to a disaster. It didn't happen. He had an off night. Victor Caratini, I love the nickname now. Put him in the lore with all those other guys, right? But it just wasn't the Mets night again.
No, it wasn't. I mean, a lot of blame goes around. First off, you can't get swept at home by the Chicago Cubs. Even Chris Bryant, after the game, said, he was hopeful to take 2 or 3. He was surprised that they actually swept all 3 games from the Mets. They've been a terrible
Especially the way they were coming in.
No doubt about it. And then, here's the knock you have on deGrom, and it's hard to nitpick, but here's the deal, right? You've lost 5 in a row coming into it. You get the J.D. Davis home run. You've got to make that home run stand up. And all of a sudden, then you get the Caratini blessed, ties the game up at 1. You're not even able to enjoy that 1-run lead early, and then obviously he makes a similar mistake. He talked about he throws a slider up in the zone, bad location. He's able to keep it foul, hits the 3-run blast in that 7th inning, and basically that deflated the entire team. It was a bad start by Jacob deGrom. You need more.
Yeah, look, with him on the mound, you got to win the game. It would have been a bad homestand had they gone 5-4. So and not to mention they started out going 3-0, sweeping the Indians. So when you look at it that way, it's really devastating. It is unacceptable. You cannot get swept by the Braves. You cannot get swept by the Cubs. But really the damage was done once they got swept by Atlanta. They had a chance to redeem themselves. They didn't. I thought they'd salvage this one with deGrom on the mound. They didn't. I don't see how you can possibly be positive about this team after the last 6 ball games. After J.D. Davis's home run, knowing the Mets and their history providing support for deGrom, I joked in the newsroom, all right, there's your run. And I was joking, but there was your run. What has gone wrong with this offense? Where are the clutch hits?
Well, I mean, you saw it the entire series. You also also saw in the Braves series, too. I mean, the lack of situational hitting late in the game last night. Everyone's making a big deal about the momentum. Oh, the fight. And then you see the game today. They had runners on base all over the place early on, and John Lester was able to work out of that trouble, only giving up the J.D. Davis blitz, and that's exactly what he needed to do. The situational hitting was downright brutal. I mean, it just was. You got to be better. You got to find a way, especially when you're trying to find ways. But that's what happens when you start to struggle a little bit, start to lose a little bit of that momentum, and Anthony, things aren't going your way. Maybe you're gripping the bat a little bit too tight, and all of a sudden those hits that were falling in before aren't falling in.
Guys, against the Braves and the Cubs, they were a combined 7 for 48 with runners in scoring position. That's a 146 average. You're not going to beat playoff contending teams by getting a hit occasionally with runners in scoring position. Obviously, this was a big deal in these two sweeps. And look, I mean, the games that they actually scored runs in, when they lost 9-5 and when they lost the other day 10-7, they still lost the game. They didn't score in the other 4 games. I mean, they barely got any runs on the board. Thank goodness for J.D. Davis, who's hitting rockets every time up, it seems like. But, you know, there's got to be more coming from the offense here, especially when it was delivering like it was when they sort of got themselves back into it.
It's been a problem all year long. People overlook it because you get excited about Alonso, or you get excited about McNeil, or Ramos's hit streak, or at times Conforto, or at times Rosario. But it's way too inconsistent. These guys aren't fully developed yet. They're not a cohesive lineup that you can rely on consistently to score runs. And what happened in the last 6 games, it just cannot happen. You want to make the playoffs, you want to be a good team, it can't happen. The reality is they aren't good enough. Whether you pick the starting pitching, the bullpen, the manager, the lineup, they're just not good. The defense is bad. They're just not good enough.
All right, Sal, you said 5-4 would have been a bad homestand. So has this 6-game losing streak at home now wiped out all those good feelings from going 15-1, getting right back into the wild card chase, sweeping the Indians?
I think it has, because you looked at the run the Mets were on, right? They, I mean, shockingly and rapidly climbed the ranks in the National League. They blown past everybody to a point where there was one team in front of them for that second wild card spot. And now you look at it, those teams have now leapfrogged the Mets again. I mean, the Mets aren't even they are in 4th place in their division. You cannot win a wild card in 4th place. Literally, it can't happen. So they have to get over the hump and, you know, get past the Phillies and, you know, stay ahead of the Brewers. Forget the Cubs and forget the Nationals, who now run away, it seems. So, yeah, I think it does. Once you get to that point, you have to at least stay there. Nobody expected 15 of 16 type pace, but you can't get swept 2 series in a row here to where you lose 6.
Well, I mean, the margin for error now is gone. I mean, you know, any way you cut it, you know, obviously Washington has separated themselves, and you look at the Chicago Cubs and you look at this Met team, they're 5 games back of the Cubs for the wild card spot. You only got 29 games to go, something Callaway talked about, the fact of it's not just the losses, but now 6 more games are gone. So you got 29 to go. So say you need to go to and get to 89 victories on the year. Mets got to go 22-7 over the next 29 games. Does this team look like they're capable of going on that kind of a stretch? Now they did it once.
I was going to say a week ago they did.
But they did it once. Or you think they're going to be all of a sudden doing that kind of run again? I mean, that's the problem you have is when you're not able to stop the hemorrhaging and you rip off 6 straight losses, you don't have great margin for error here moving forward. So, yeah, they played themselves into contention, and amazingly enough, there are going to be people are going to say before you hit September 1st, they played themselves out of contention.
Yeah.
Is this where I come in with the hopeful notes that they have?
Well, they are getting to play one of those teams they have to chase, right?
Yeah, right. They still have people in front of them that they can play and gain ground on. Of course, the Cubs aren't one of them, and the Cubs hold the spot now. But the Cubs do have to play a lot of games against the Cardinals and a lot of games against the Brewers, so maybe there's some damage to be done there. Plus, the Mets have more home games left than anybody in the major leagues. They have played well at home. I feel bad, again, saying that after another home loss, but it's a fact. There are decent home teams, so maybe they can make some ground up there somewhere. I mean, I don't know. They did it before. I never thought they'd do it before, but they have got that in the bank. Now we need to see if they
can. It's got to start next game in Philly.
Right, exactly.
Syndergaard and DeGrom couldn't stop the bleeding. Now they turn to Zach Wheeler. Moose, Sal, Anthony, thanks for stopping by for Baseball Night in New York. Now let's send it back over to Chris.
Thanks, Eamon. Up next, Daniel Jones made his first start of his NFL career against the almighty Patriots and their backups. Would he rise to the occasion or come back down to earth after a solid preseason? And Jacob deGrom looked flawless for almost 7 innings, but then he showed us he's human. We'll get his thoughts on his disappointing performance when we return.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Whose dog is this?
It's my special friend Antonio.
His luxurious fur calms my nerves when I'm worried about moving into our new apartment.
Why don't we just ask Geico for help with renter's insurance?
I didn't know Geico helps with renter's insurance.
Yeah, and we could save a bunch too.
Antonio, fetch computer. Antonio. I'll get it.
Get to know Geico and see how much you could save on renter's insurance.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together a winning performance. It takes precision, like how we're #1 in claims prevention. It takes hustle, like our over 99% on-time rate. And it takes consistently going the distance to earn our fans' loyalty. That's why we're #1 in customer satisfaction. Old Dominion, official freight carrier of Major League Baseball.
Opening day is special.
Passion's non-negotiable, and you have to love this game.
All I need for every man in this circle is to believe. One play at a time, one game at a time. Let's do what we do, man.
The whole NFL world sleeping on the Jets, so ready to prove them wrong.
It's time to go, man. Let's go. Jets, Jets, baby.
Be there for the 2019 home opener when the Jets take on the Bills Sunday, September 8th at 1 p.m. Secure your seats at nyjets.com/tickets.
When you're the most awarded SUV ever and the most capable, changing how you're seen is as simple as changing your scenery.
Have it all at the Jeep Labor Day sales event and get $1,000 bonus cash. Or well-qualified returning lessees get a low-mileage lease on select 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee models for $199 a month.
When I am helping a customer, I need to treat everybody the way I would want them to treat my family. I am a country girl, so that's what we do. I want them to know that I really want to help you. That's what I'm here for. People may not remember what you say, but they always remember how you make them feel. My name is Lola, and I am proud to keep your car running newer, longer.
Fixed right, priced right, right on time. The triple promise, only at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Jets taking on the Eagles in the final preseason game. Head coach Adam Gase looking on from the sideline. Start of the second quarter, game tied. Clayton Thorson forced out of the pocket, and he's going to be picked off by Marcus Cooper. Cooper takes it down to the Eagles' 34-yard line. That would set up a Taylor Bertolette field goal attempt from 23 yards out. And it's good, putting the Jets up 3-0 early in the second quarter. Third quarter, still 3-0. Former Giant Davis Webb completes a 27-yard pass to Valentine Holmes. That would set up the Jets inside the Eagles' 30, and it would lead to another Bertolette field goal attempt. He splits the uprights for his second field goal of the game, giving the Jets a 6-0 lead. His night wasn't completely good, though. From 49 yards, no. That would be one of 3 missed field goals on the night for Bertolette. However, the Jets wound up winning this one 6-0. Here's Gase on his kicking situation.
I mean, he hit the ones under 40. You know, he had, 2 50-plus yarders. 149 that he missed. We were late coming out twice. That doesn't help a kicker when we're trying to get in rhythm. We'll just kind of keep going through what we're talking about tomorrow with the personnel department and kind of see what they're thinking. And we'll just kind of make a decision of what we want to do going forward.
Giants giving rookie Daniel Jones his first start at quarterback in their final tune-up against the Pats. His first pass of the game on 1st and 10. He checks it down to C.J. Conrad for a 5-yard gain. Then he hits Golden Tate in stride on the slant for a gain of 14 to keep the chains moving. A few plays later, Jones in shotgun formation lofts one up to Tate on the sideline. The Golden Domer hauls it in on the gorgeous pass. Here's another look as Jones fires under pressure. Tate able to secure the ball for a 23-yard gain. You won't see that again until week 5. On 1st and 10, Jones play action. He sends it to his back, Paul Perkins, for a gain of 5. Jones finishes the game 4 for 4 for 47 yards. Just 5 incompletions on the preseason for the Rook. Big Blues next drive, Alex Tanny making his case to make the club with this beautiful throw, 35 yards down the sideline to Alonzo Russell. Here's another angle as he fits it into a window. Giants win at 31-29. Here's Eli Manning on Daniel Jones.
I think Daniel's doing a great job. He's working hard. He's doing all the right things. He's in there early. He's asking questions. So I enjoy working with him. Enjoy getting to know him a little bit. And I think he's doing a great job and making plays on the field.
Time now for Football Night in New York with SNY NFL insider Ralph Vacchiano. And Ralph, Daniel Jones starting his first game Thursday versus New England. Going a perfect 4 for 4, 47 yards, as Eamon mentioned. What did you take away from his start in overall the preseason?
Well, his start was just like every other preseason game. Every time he's been on the field, he does something to impress. Watching him in this game, he was 4 for 4 under pressure on almost every throw. That doesn't faze him at all. And honestly, what has amazed me all summer long has been his accuracy, the way he's able to put his passes right on the hands of his receivers, and great touch as well. You saw that long pass to Golden Tate just floated down the sidelines right into his arm. This kid has done everything that has been asked of him.
He's really, answered the critics as far as his ability to throw deep, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no question. He definitely has the arm strength. That was something that people wondered about when he was drafted, but he clearly has that. He clearly has the composure. Really, there's nothing about being an NFL quarterback that he hasn't shown you this summer.
So I know it's preseason, so how much stock do you put into that? Like his performance so far?
No, I put a lot into it. I don't think you can say, okay, well, he's ready to be an NFL starter. I think looks like he's pretty ready, but things will be different in the regular season. If he were to be thrown into a game, teams are game planning for him, playing against first stringers. The pressure will be a lot greater. But, you've seen a lot of rookie quarterbacks over the years who've come into the summer, even against backups, who've just been either tight or jittery or not looked like they were quite ready. That wasn't him. He looked like he had been doing this for years.
No, he looks like he belongs in the NFL for sure. Now, somebody who been struggling, Taylor Bertolette. He went 2 for 5 on field goals against the Eagles. How much confidence does this team have for him to be a reliable kicker? Because he doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I can't imagine they have confidence in him at all, to be honest. And after the game, Adam Gase talked about, he did say he did have confidence in him, but then he also talked about how the personnel people in the organization have to make a decision. Look, there are reasons why he may have missed these long kicks. He had 3 long kicks, 49, 56, 53, missed them all. That's not good. Adam Gase said the guys were running out there late. That doesn't help. If it was just one game, maybe you could excuse it, but you have to factor in his missed extra points, his other missed field goals. It's been a problem ever since he replaced Chandler Cannizzaro. And I think the Jets know for a fact that their kicker right now is not on their roster. They can't believe that Taylor Bertolette is a guy that gives them any kind of confidence heading into the regular season.
So with that being said, how tough is it to bring somebody else in once the roster cuts are made, another kicker in, with camp almost over, or pretty much over?
It's not ideal. I mean, you'd want your kicker in there normally to get him used to the snapper and the hold and that whole operation. But a lot of teams do view kickers as sort of disposable and exchangeable. There are a lot of veteran kickers out there on the market. There's going to be a lot of guys cut who are strong, younger kickers that maybe just lost out in a camp battle. This, though, because the Jets have waited so long to address this, obviously they let Jason Myers go to Seattle when they didn't re-sign him during the offseason. This is starting to look like something that could haunt them all season long. And when you're a team that, they're not a dominant team, but they think they're in the playoff chase, you don't want to risk a position that's worth, 6-9 points a game. That's a big hole for them to fill, and right now they don't have an answer.
Yeah, it could be a game changer. 3
Absolutely.
points, you win the game or lose the game. Now, big picture, there have been so many storylines with the Jets and Giants. When you look at the preseason overall and training camp, what are your main takeaways from the Jets and Giants camp?
Well, for the Giants, the takeaway is that their future is bright. This season is all going to be about whether Eli Manning has one more run in him or when do they turn the future over to Daniel Jones. But if you were ever worried about what happens after Eli Manning, you feel okay now because Daniel Jones looks like, even if he doesn't get it all together right away, he is good enough to lead this team in the future. So that's the big takeaway from them. And for the Jets, the big takeaway for me is that Sam Darnold looks like he's ready right now. and you obviously focus on the quarterbacks. It's the most important position, but he has the pieces around him, a coach who is a smart offensive coach who seems to know what he wants to do with Sam Darnold. Good receivers, good offensive line. There should be no reason, if the Jets stay healthy, why they should make a playoff run.
Big if they stay healthy.
If they stay healthy.
Sam Darnold looks ready. You know who doesn't look ready? The cornerbacks for the Jets. How concerned are you about that situation playing out in the season?
I'm pretty concerned about it. I think that there is a solution for the Jets, and it's not finding other cornerbacks or letting these cornerbacks play better. It's the aggressive defense of Greg Williams. A big way to make up for a suspect secondary is to pressure the quarterback and make him throw quickly. And Greg Williams promises that that will be the case. They have the pieces there for it. They don't have the edge rusher that a lot of people think they need, including myself, but they have Leonard Williams and Quinnen Williams and Greg Williams to the Williams trio. Right. Greg Williams' scheme is one that has generated a lot of pressure in the past. So if they can do that, then they can overcome that deficiency. If the pressure doesn't get there, well, that cornerback situation is going to be a problem all year.
So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Leonard Williams, Quinnen Williams, and the rest of the defensive line if they want to have any shot of going far.
No question about that.
Ralph Acciano, always a pleasure, man. Now, let's send it back out to Eamon.
Chris Williamson, you forgot a Williams. We have more to get to, including more from Queens and the U.S. Open. There was a major upset in the women's draw, and we'll have the highlights when Sports Night rolls on after this.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my story. I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, or brittle-bone disease. I have broken my bones almost 200 times, and I have had 11 surgeries. But I didn't let that stop me. I love to bike ride, climb, race, and I'm learning how to stand and walk. But I can only do all of this because of generous people like you and Shriners Hospitals for Children.
Because of people like you, Shriners Hospitals for Children has helped more than 1.3 million kids just like me, regardless of their family's ability to pay.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is only able to provide this world-class, life-changing medical care because of the generous gifts of people just like you.
Because of you, I can ride my bike. I can play basketball.
Because of people like you, I can run.
I can smile.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
When you go to loveshriners.org right now and give just 63 cents a day, you're helping kids just like me.
Like me. Like me. When you give today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me.
Your gift, no matter how small, can help a child today.
This is your moment to make a difference.
When you pick up your phone, you know you have it right there, and call to give. You're helping kids like me. Thank you. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, please call again or give right away at loveshriners.org.
Your gift makes a difference. Thank you for giving.
That's gone, a home run! Mets, Phillies. Scooter of the big man busts the city in half! Get tickets at Mets.com/tickets.
The storylines that have the New York sports culture buzzing through the lens of social media reaction.
Let's get the conversation started.
The Thread, presented by Citi. Today at 5, only on SNY.
Jacob deGrom pitched about as well as you could until the 7th inning. He gave up 1 run after 6, but in the 7th, Victor Caratini drilled a 3-run homer off Jake. He was due for a breakdown because he's human, but he knows he's got to do better. Just a rough night for him.
They did a good job of putting the ball in play, found a couple holes. You know, I think really only 2 or 3 balls were hit hard all night, the 2 homers, and then Luke Roy's out to right field, and then, you know, found a couple holes and timely home run for them. So, you know, just wasn't able to go out there and put up a 0 in the 7th, and it kind of cost us the game. You know, we got to win. I think everybody knows that. You know, it's late in the season, and we kind of dug ourselves out of a hole, kind of put ourselves in a little one, so we got to dig our way out again.
New York takes their act on the road now after a 9-game homestand. The Mets face the Phillies Friday with coverage beginning right here on SNY at 6:30. The game will follow at 7 in what will be a pivotal series for the Mets.
U.S. Open women's draw. Wimbledon champ and 4th seed Simona Halep taking on Taylor Towson in the U.S. Open second round. Second set, Towson up 5-3. Halep with the unforced error on the return serve. Townsend ties it up at a set apiece. Now, third set in a tiebreaker. Match point. Halep sends it back into the net. Townsend moves on 2-6, 6-3, 7-6. Her first career win against a top 10 opponent.
Coming up on Geico Sports Night, college football is in the air. UConn looking to start its season off with a win. That's ahead.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Uh-oh. Looks like someone's still nervous about buying a new house.
Is it that obvious?
Yes, it is. You know, maybe you'd worry less if you got Geico to help with your homeowner's insurance.
I didn't know Geico helps with homeowners insurance.
Yeah, they've been doing it for years. What are you doing? Big Steve?
Thanks, man.
There he is.
Get to know Geico and see how much you could save on homeowners and renters insurance.
Thank you to everything that gets in the way of our love for driving. Because you inspire our innovations and challenge us to make the ultimate driving machine. Summer starts now.
For the BMW Summer on Sales event, get up to $4,500 credit on select models now through Labor Day.
Before Harry's, guys like John, and John here were overpaying for razors. But then we started selling high-quality shaving supplies at a fair price. Our customers, like Gary, seem to like that. Pablo likes the fact that he gets such a close, comfortable shave. David appreciates the precision trimmer for the little details. And guys like Mike saved enough money to finally check shaving a Scottish lock off his bucket list. Whatever works for you, Mike. Harry's, now available at Walmart, Target, and harrys.com.
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
Hey, Joey, what's the latest on trade talks? Hey, Joey, latest on trade talks? Hey, Joey.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. Your team's in the crapper, and so was I, all right? What, I offend you? Ah, don't put me in the pocket. Come on. My voice will not be silenced.
SNY, complete coverage of every New York team, anytime, from any device.
Get your New York sports here.
All things New York sports, all on one site, only on SNY.TV.
College football is back. Connecticut kicking things off against Wagner. 3rd down and goal in the first quarter for the Huskies. Mike Beaudry goes play action, rolls out right, keeps it himself, and gets into the end zone with the 2-yard score. Connecticut would kick the extra point, take a 7-0 lead. Under 5 minutes to go in the third. Huskies clinging to a 10-7 lead. Kevin Mensah punches one in from 4 yards out. His first touchdown of the season, giving UConn a 10-point lead. Huskies would go on to win this one over the Seahawks. 24-21 is the final. And some NBA news before we go. The Nets' Wilson Chandler has been suspended for 25 games after testing positive for a PED and violating the NBA's anti-drug policy. Total coincidence that this news comes on the same day Frank Isola reports that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are pushing the Nets to sign one Carmelo Anthony.
Coincidence? I think not.
Total coincidence.
All right, on that note, we are done here with this edition of Geico Sports Night. For Eamon McAnaney, I'm Chris Williamson. Have a great Friday, beautiful people.